willing to use that?
Well, I would start by number one, imposing on every single penny that's spent at the state level to have to undergo a cost-benefit analysis. Let's look at this. You know, I've been in the legislature for 10 years now, and if I have heard it once, I've heard it 100,000 times. If we invest $10 here, it'll save us $50 on down the road. Well, if I believed every time I heard that, this state should be rolling in dough, for goodness sakes. Right? The money should just be pouring in. Of course, that's not happening. Right? We never, as a legislature, look and say, for this dollar spent, what is the benefit, not only to our economy, but to our society? Let's put together a cost-benefit analysis, number one. Number two, I get rid of silly, nonsensical agencies of government, and I'll start with the Metropolitan Council. Metropolitan Council was meant to be a planning agency. They have grown into this behemoth that costs the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars every year to do nothing more than what cities and counties are already charged with doing. Let's get rid of that entity. Sewer and water can go to PCU, their transit can go to MnDOT, their parks and open spaces can go to the DNR. We've got these entities. Let's get rid of this big drain on resources. Two areas that I can think of immediately right off the top of my head. There are hundreds of more, but you've only given me 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Taylor, how will you reduce taxes?
Well, at the risk of making everybody go, I agree with a lot of what he said. I think we do need to take a really good look at where are we spending our money, are we spending it wisely, are there programs that can be cut back on that aren't necessarily health and human services, that are areas where maybe we are in fact doubling up. He gives a very good point. There are some people that are being paid to do jobs that we already have organizations in place to do. I think at the time the Met Council was put together as an example, you know, the idea was a good one and they put that out there, but just like we've changed how we fund our schools, I think we also need to, after we put something out there, be willing to take a second look at it and say, has it met our goals? Is it achieving what we set out to do? I think we need to take a look at that, but on the other side of that, it was said earlier that, you know, revenue for these cities, for our governments, for our counties, these all come from the taxes that people pay in. And I think we have made that kind of a bad word so that people get a knee-jerk reaction. And one of my goals in reaching out to these communities is really making them see that if someone promises you a levy limit and tells you that that's the answer to your prayers because it's going to protect your taxes from going up, I just want to make sure that they know that on the back end of that, that means that some of their city's things may be compromised. And so are you willing to say, yes, I have lower taxes, but I'm going to have to cut one of my police officers. I'm going to have to forego one of the fire trucks that we budgeted for. Because the bottom line is, our utilities are going up, our cost of living is going up, and it's going up at a rate that is not keeping up with our salaries or our ability to make more money at this point in time. So I think it's imperative that as we're looking at these sort of changes right now that we don't have a handle on, that we don't cut ourselves off at those priority areas of caring for people, keeping them safe, and making sure that they have the funding necessary to keep these communities what we want them to be, so that more families will continue to come here.
Thank you, Taylor.